The attic smelled of dust and forgotten adventures. Sunlight sliced through cracks in the boarded-up windows, illuminating floating particles like tiny, shimmering stars. 10-year-old Coco coughed, waving a hand in front of her face, but her eyes were fixed on the trunk at the room's center. It was Grandfather Silas's. He'd been a legend, a pirate not of plunder and fear, but of exploration and kindness. Everyone in Port Blossom remembered Captain Silas, the man who charted the Whispering Isles and brought back stories of rainbow coral and singing seashells. Now he was gone, and this trunk was all that remained. Coco lifted the heavy lid. Inside, nestled amongst rolled-up charts and tarnished spyglasses, was a hat. Not just any hat, but the hat. Grandfather Silas's tricorn. Slightly faded but still radiating a sense of daring. As she reached for it, a voice squawked, "A fine choice, Captain. Though a bit dusty, wouldn't you say?" Coco jumped back, bumping into a stack of old books. Perched on the trunk's edge was a parrot, vibrant green with a flash of scarlet on his wings. He tilted his head, one bright eye fixed on her. You can talk?" Coco stammered. "Talk? My dear, I am talk," the parrot declared, puffing out his chest. "The name's Pollo, and I'm not just any parrot. Well, let's just say I hold the key to a grand adventure." He winked. "In fact, I am the map." Coco stared, completely bewildered. "You're the map?" Pollo let out a hearty laugh. "Indeed. Grandfather Silas enchanted me, you see. All his charts, all his secrets. They're all tucked away in my feathered brain. And now, it's time for a new captain to take the helm." He cleared his throat dramatically. "Listen closely, for here is the first riddle. Where sweetness blooms in a jungle bright, a rainbow of flavors a delectable sight. To find what you seek, a colorful plea, gather the hues for all to agree." Coco frowned, turning the riddle over in her mind. "Jellybean Jungle? Is that a real place?" "Oh, very real," Pollo confirmed. "Overflowing with sweet treasures, they say. But you won't be sailing there alone, will you? A captain needs a crew." Coco suddenly felt a pang of doubt. Could she really be a captain? Grandfather Silas had been so confident, so capable. She was just Coco. She glanced at the hat in her hands, the weight of her grandfather's legacy pressing down on her. I don't know," she whispered. "I've never captained anything before." "Nonsense," Pollo squawked. "You have the spirit, I can see it. Now go. Find yourself a crew. And quickly, before someone else gets wind of this adventure." And so, Coco began her search. First, she found Leo, a shy boy who spent most of his time tinkering in his garage. He was a brilliant inventor, but his creations often malfunctioned. He was currently trying to build a self-folding laundry machine, which was currently emitting a cloud of soapy bubbles. "Leo?" Coco asked hesitantly, stepping into the garage. Leo jumped, nearly dropping a wrench. "Oh, hi Coco. What do you need?" "I'm going on an adventure," she explained. "And I was wondering if you'd like to come with me. I need someone who's good at building things." Leo's eyes lit up, then quickly dimmed. "An adventure? But my inventions aren't always reliable." A small explosion erupted from the laundry machine, showering them both in bubbles. "That's okay," Coco said with a smile. "We all have our strengths. And even if things go a little wrong, it'll be fun." Next, she sought out Maya, a whirlwind of energy and color who was always painting murals on the town walls. Maya was fearless but sometimes acted before thinking. She was currently perched atop a ladder, adding a giant octopus to the side of Old Man Hemlock's bakery. "Maya, what are you doing?" Coco called out. "Making the world a more interesting place, of course." Maya replied, not missing a beat. "Want to help? I'm thinking of adding some glitter to the octopus." "I need your help with something else," Coco said. "I'm going on an adventure, and I need someone brave and artistic." "An adventure? Count me in," Maya exclaimed, scrambling down the ladder. "Where are we going? Are there dragons? Pirates? Can we paint them?" With Leo and Maya on board, the trio set to work building a ship. They scavenged wood from the docks, sails from an old sailmaker's shop, and ropes from the harbor. Leo's inventions, while still a bit shaky, proved surprisingly useful. He designed a makeshift engine powered by rubber bands and a system of pulleys, though it often sputtered and stalled. They named their creation the Sea Star. As they finally pushed the Sea Star out to sea, Coco couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement mixed with trepidation. She adjusted her grandfather's hat, a determined glint in her eye. Unbeknownst to them, a sleek black ship with crimson sails was following at a distance. On its deck stood Captain Blackheart, a notorious pirate with a cruel grin and a reputation for ruthlessness. He'd been watching Coco and her crew, his eyes narrowed with greed. "So the old man's granddaughter thinks she can follow in his footsteps," Blackheart sneered to his first mate. "We'll see about that. Whatever treasure she seeks, it will be mine." The air grew thick with the scent of sugar as the Sea Star rounded a bend, and then there it was. Jelly Bean Jungle, an island sculpted entirely of jelly beans. Towering trees of licorice twisted amongst hills of cherry and grape, and a river of melted caramel flowed lazily towards a beach of lemon drops. Even Leo, usually lost in the mechanics of things, gasped. "Remarkable," he breathed, adjusting his goggles. "The structural integrity, the sheer volume of confections, it defies all logical explanation." Maya, predictably, was already halfway over the side, eager to explore. "This is the best place ever. I'm going to paint with jelly bean juice." Coco, however, remembered Pollo's riddle. "Hold on, everyone. To find what you seek, a colorful plea, gather the hues for all to agree. We need to figure out what that means." They spent the next hour wandering through the jungle, sampling the endless variety of jelly beans. Maya, despite her enthusiasm, kept wanting to run off and explore every sparkly corner. "Look, a rainbow swirl. We need to collect all the colors." "Maya, wait," Coco called, remembering her grandfather's lessons about careful planning. "We need to be systematic. Let's try to find a pattern, a combination that feels right." Leo, meanwhile, was meticulously documenting the different jelly bean varieties in his notebook. "I've identified at least 50 distinct flavors. The red ones seem to be the most structurally sound, likely due to the higher sugar content." Suddenly, Pollo squawked, "Observe! The riddle speaks of agreement. Look at the jelly bean flowers. Each bloom requires a specific combination of colors to flourish." He pointed to a patch of enormous jelly bean flowers. One, a vibrant sunflower, needed a red, yellow, and orange jelly bean placed in its center. Another, a delicate violet, required purple, blue, and a tiny speck of white. Working together, they carefully gathered the required jelly beans for each flower. As they placed the final jelly bean into a magnificent ruby red rose, the center of the bloom began to glow. A single shimmering jelly bean, unlike any they'd seen before, materialized. It pulsed with a soft golden light. "A magical jelly bean," Pollo exclaimed. "This holds the next clue." As Coco touched the jelly bean, a holographic image flickered to life, showing a jagged mountain range shrouded in smoke. "Volcano Valley," a voice echoed. "Beware the fiery breath and heed this warning. Where stone giants sleep and rivers run hot, a hidden path awaits, but courage you've got." Before they could fully absorb the message, a shadow fell over the Sea Star. Captain Blackheart's ship, the Serpent's Tooth, loomed menacingly. "Well, well, well," Blackheart's voice boomed across the water. "What have we here? Seems the little captain has found herself a shiny toy. Hand over the parrot, girl, and maybe I'll let you keep your little ship." "Never," Coco shouted, her hand instinctively reaching for her grandfather's hat. Blackheart's crew began to swarm towards the Sea Star in smaller boats. Maya, ever impulsive, immediately grabbed a handful of bright green jelly beans and started pelting the pirates. "Take that, you scurvy dogs." "Maya, no," Coco cried, but it bought them a precious few seconds. "Now, Coco," Leo yelled, frantically adjusting a strange contraption mounted on the deck. It was his latest invention, a sticky goo cannon, designed to launch a non-toxic, incredibly adhesive substance. Goo deployment in 3-1. With a whoosh, the cannon fired, unleashing a stream of gooey purple slime that coated the approaching pirate boats, effectively immobilizing them. The pirates sputtered and struggled, covered head-to-toe in sticky goo. "Impressive, Leo," Coco said, a grin spreading across her face. Blackheart, furious, roared, "Get them!" But Coco had a plan. She remembered the Caramel River. "Full speed ahead, Leo." Towards the caramel. Leo steered the sea star towards the flowing caramel, expertly navigating the sticky current. The serpent's tooth, too large to follow, was left floundering in the wake. They escaped, leaving a trail of bewildered, goo-covered pirates behind them. As they sailed away, Coco glanced back at Jellybean Jungle, a newfound confidence swelling within her. They had faced a challenge, worked together, and emerged victorious. She knew Volcano Valley would be even more dangerous, but she also knew they were ready. The heat hit them like a wall as the sea star entered Volcano Valley. Steam rose from bubbling hot springs, and the air smelled of sulfur. Jagged black rocks jutted from the landscape, and rivers of molten rock glowed ominously in the distance. "Remarkable geological formations," Leo exclaimed, though even his enthusiasm sounded strained. "The geothermal activity is intense. I'm detecting readings off the charts." Maya shielded her eyes, sketching furiously in her notebook. "It's dramatic, but also really hot, and I think my paint is melting." Coco consulted Pollo. "Where stone giants sleep and rivers run hot, a hidden path awaits, but courage you've got." "Stone giants, that must be those rock formations." She pointed towards a cluster of towering, oddly shaped rocks. "Let's head that way." Navigating Volcano Valley proved treacherous. They dodged geysers of scalding water and carefully maneuvered around fissures in the earth. Leo's latest invention, heat-resistant shields for the Sea Star, proved invaluable. "These shields are holding, but the temperature is steadily rising," Leo reported, monitoring his instruments. "We need to find this hidden path quickly." As they approached the stone giants, Pollo squawked excitedly. "There! Behind the largest giant. A concealed entrance." Hidden behind a massive rock face was a narrow passage, leading into the heart of the volcano. They cautiously entered, and the passage opened into a breathtaking sight. A hidden garden, lush and vibrant, filled with plants unlike any they had ever seen. Glowing flowers bloomed in every color imaginable, and strange, sweet-smelling fruits hung from the branches. "It's incredible," Maya breathed, her artistic eye overwhelmed by the beauty. In the center of the garden stood a single ancient tree, its branches laden with small silver seeds. "These are the seeds of life," Pollo announced solemnly. "They can grow anywhere, bringing beauty and nourishment to even the most barren lands." But their moment of wonder was shattered by a familiar roar. Captain Blackheart's ship, the Serpent's Tooth, appeared at the entrance to the valley. He had followed them. "So the rumors were true," Blackheart sneered, leaping onto the shore. "A garden in a volcano, and seeds that can grow anything worth a fortune. Hand them over, girl, and I might consider letting you live." Coco stepped forward, her grandfather's hat firmly in place. "These seeds aren't for sale, Captain. They're meant to be shared to bring life to the world." Blackheart laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Sentimental nonsense. Everything has a price. You think a few pretty flowers are worth more than gold?" "Maybe not to you," Coco replied, her voice steady, "but they are to me, and to a lot of people." She glanced at Leo, who was already tinkering with a new device. "I believe Captain Blackheart underestimates the power of innovation," Leo said with a mischievous grin. "Prepare for project lava-proof landing." With a series of whirs and clicks, Leo activated his invention, a device that created a rapidly cooling, lava-resistant barrier. He directed it towards a seemingly empty patch of ground near a flowing stream of lava. Within seconds, a perfect circular platform of hardened rock appeared, suspended just above the molten flow. "What sorcery is this?" Blackheart bellowed, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Just a little bit of science, Captain," Coco said with a smile. "Now if you'll step this way." She gestured towards the platform. Blackheart, blinded by greed, lunged forward, eager to claim the seeds. He stepped onto the platform, and the mechanism Leo had cleverly concealed beneath the surface activated, slowly lowering the platform into the lava pit. "Hey, what's happening? Let me out!" Blackheart shrieked, realizing he'd been tricked. But the platform descended smoothly, safely encasing him in a bubble of lava-proof material. He was unharmed but utterly trapped. Coco watched as Blackheart sputtered and raged, his face red with fury. "You haven't seen the last of me," he yelled. "Perhaps not," Coco said calmly, "but maybe you'll have some time to reflect on what truly matters." As Blackheart's ship limped away, a figure detached itself from the shadows of the crew. A young man no older than Leo with a haunted look in his eyes. He swam towards the sea star, his hands raised in surrender. I can't do this anymore," he said, breathless. "I've seen enough. I want to use my skills to help people, not steal from them." Coco smiled warmly. "Welcome aboard." Back home, Coco, Leo, and Maya worked tirelessly, planting the seeds in every corner of their town. Soon barren patches of land burst into life, transformed into vibrant gardens and lush green spaces. They shared the seeds with neighboring villages, spreading beauty and abundance wherever they went. Leo designed a network of automated seed distributing drones, ensuring that even the most remote areas could benefit from the magical seeds. Maya painted murals depicting the wonders of the garden, inspiring others to appreciate the beauty of nature. Coco, standing amidst the blossoming flowers, knew she had found her true calling. She wasn't just a captain, she was a guardian of life, a beacon of hope, and she knew with absolute certainty that her grandfather would have been proud.